It was like the end of the world for the American stock market on Monday. $1 trillion wiped off the map just like that. And Nvidia, well, they lost $590 billion. Why? Why is this happening, Tushar? You ask me? Well, the reason is China. And I'm not even kidding. Donald Trump just unironically keeps using that, but this time I'm actually serious. It's China. And they're at it again. Oh boy. So this time, it's literally like, do you remember the scene from, the first Iron Man when Tony Stark built the arc reactor in the cave, in a fucking cave, with a box of scraps, and Obadiah later in Iron Man 2 is like, Tony Stark built this with a box of scraps. Like, I gave you the most sophisticated technology and labs, and you guys can't do it. Well, it's basically a Tony Stark cave moment right here, ladies and gentlemen. A Chinese company has been able to pull off at just $5.6 million, which is like a fraction of the amount other AI, big AI companies like OpenAI actually spent on their AI. It's called DeepSeek. And their model is called R1. So this entire model was built using a much inferior NVIDIA chip called the H800. I know, sounds like some Terminator model, right? But yeah, bear with me. It's called H800. And in the meanwhile, the competitors like NVIDIA uses the H100 chips for the American market and some such. But here's the clinch, right? H100 is banned in China. The exports are banned. They are under sanctions from the United States government. So, these absolute mad lads built the R1 model for less cost and with a more inferior chip called the H800, and was still able to somehow beat OpenAI's Mini O1 model. It is absolutely crazy. Though apprehension still exists on the way, China deals with, data and privacy. And we all saw that with the TikTok thing as well, where India banned TikTok simply because it could be, an information relayer to the Chinese government. But there hasn't been anything on that yet. So we'll have to wait and watch. But yeah, it is at a fraction of the cost better than some of the models OpenAI has at the moment. So it is mind blowing. Well, now we have spoken about DeepSeek, right? Well, naturally the question is, oh, China has DeepSeek and America has OpenAI and they have ChatGPT, and they also have, Google's also American, so they have Gemini and all these other kinds of AI. What does India have, right? I'm Indian, if you guys didn't notice by now. I'm Indian, so I'm actually bothered about that. And well, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud to, for the first time in the world, introduce India's AI. Jack shit, fuck all, and absolutely nothing. Yeah, we don't have anything. But I'm pretty sure there will be like 100 Indian tutorials made by us on how to use DeepSeek and OpenAI and all that. I think OpenAI already has on how to get a 40 lakhs LPA. I see these YouTube ads. I know what it is. On how to get 40 lakhs LPA using ChatGPT all day, and for like half an hour and 20 minutes you can earn 40 lakhs per annum. Yeah, I think that's what we are good for at the moment, because there's nothing else. There should really be a call for action from the government of India. But yeah, I mean, well, everyone's just too busy giving out freebies and free bus rides and electricity for people that they cannot even be expected to even spend a penny, a drop, or a pinch, or even a pinch or half a quarter, of a coin towards R&D for AI. There is no call for action, and so, I mean, we will be pretty much stuck like this forever. India doesn't have the kind of protected markets China has at the moment. China has these protected markets, and these AI companies are really homegrown and able to grow that way. But India doesn't have anything like that. China has also declared AI to be a national policy so that they are upfront, right? I mean, they're up front and, they are competing with the rest of the world, especially the United States. But yeah, we are far behind. Forget about AI, and we missed every single major industrial revolution. So we have missed this bus as well. And I know I'm being really critical and tough on my own country. Well, but I mean, I am Indian. If anyone's going to criticize it, might as well I do. But we really need to get our shit together and really try to get this stuff on the way. It will help us. It'll help our country. We need a again DARPA style program worth $3 billion to get this show on the road. Yeah, but we're just lollygagging. We're not doing anything. So yeah, it is mildly frustrating. But today I'm not just talking about DeepSeek. Like the title tells you, China is making moves like mad, like crazy, y'all. So the next one I'm going to talk about, I don't know if many of you all have heard, but they have actually created, do you know the Death Star from Star Wars? And the laser it shoots off, right? Like literally, and laser, weapons. They have literally been able to make a laser weapon called the HPM, high powered microwave rays. So this thing basically can, deactivate or like destroy satellites without actually creating any debris. So it's lasers, right? So it just boom laser, and then the satellite's like it goes, just deactivates, it just like shuts down, right? And can you imagine anything working without satellites? How do you think you get your GPS? What do you think the S is? Satellites. And what do you think? Where do you think our communications come from? What is Starlink? It's all satellites. So I mean, if China is able to create a weapon that takes out satellites, which in turn takes out comms, GPS, and so many other sophisticated technology that we are using almost every day, that shit's going to hit the fan. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely terrifying, and China is really making inroads into that. I mean, yeah, of course. Are you going to ask me like, oh, Tushar, can it destroy the moon? Like, no, not really. It can't just wipe Alderaan off the face of the earth at the moment. But it is the right direction for a country's military to take. This is all sixth, seventh generation, eighth generation stuff, right? For military. So they're taking the right step forward, and that's what I'm trying to say. Don't ask about India again. I mean, the Navy is fine, but oh man, I don't know the rest of us. I don't know what we're doing, but yeah. Anyway, now coming to the third point that I wanted to talk about in this video. Factories. Yeah, I mean Volkswagen factories. And by that I mean the slowing German automobile industry. So the German automobile industry is really struggling at the moment. Car sales have stagnated, and so has production, and there's just a lot of inventory lying around. And so one company in particular is really struggling to make ends meet. That is Volkswagen. I'm sure most of you all know what Volkswagen is. So it's a pretty famous brand. And it not only is famous for selling its own cars, it owns like a bazillion other brands which also sell cars and are very popular. Like, for example, you might have heard Audi and Skoda and Bentley and all these other Porsche for one. Yeah, Porsche. Everyone loves these supercars, but yeah, Volkswagen makes them. But yeah, Volkswagen is going through a terrible time right now, and they're actually contemplating closing down their factories. I know this is little old news. We heard it like last year also, but they're actually contemplating closing down their factories. So if they close them down, right, no one's going to work there. So it's basically up for sale. And well, going by the topic of this video, well, no points for guessing who that country is, who the group of companies are, or where they originate from, who are interested in buying these factories. Well, it's China again. So Chinese lawmakers and like company owners are in talks already with Volkswagen and the German government to perhaps try to buy out some of these closing factories. And for me, really, there's one thing that's absolutely almost unimaginable for me. How is Volkswagen struggling? Like I just mentioned, so many companies they own, right? It's actually crazy that they're struggling so much. And It's unbelievable, but well, whatever. I mean, right? Companies will just justify laying off people also. I mean, if it means more profits. So it's not a big surprise, but yeah, China is interested in those factories because mainly they can dodge tariffs, right? They can make in Germany, there's no import tariffs, they're all good. So it is very beneficial for them. So yeah, I mean, I feel like Chinese influence is like slowly, but gradually just growing. I wouldn't say a big word like cancer, but it's like slowly growing, and they're dominating almost every industry, or they're trying to dominate every industry that is there. So, I mean, they're on the right track, but is it really a good thing for the rest of the world? Well, I don't know. Because if China was a really friendly country with no authoritarian government and no expansionist policy, then hey, more power to them. Not to sound like a jealous friend, but I wouldn't be jealous about a friend. That's how I am. So, more power to them. No one's jealous. I mean, some people are jealous of the US, but everyone's fine with the US because they're democratic, they get their work done properly, and they collaborate despite being stronger with the rest of the world. But China just wants to bully. Well, I don't know under Donald Trump if. Well, yeah, let me rethink that later. But yeah, so China is really perceived as a threat, right, to democracy and the modern world, being one of the last major remnants of communism from the Cold War, right? Which apparently America and the Western allies have won. But China here it is rising, right? So it's kind of a real threat, and they have been expansionist towards India as well. So we are kind of creeped out by them as well. But now things might be going back on the right track. But I digress. I am divulging. So let me get back on track. So yeah, basically that's all I had for today. I mean, it really is a warning call for the rest of the world that they really need to upgrade their AI capabilities, their militaries, you could say, and even their local industry. I mean, all these things need to come together for countries, if they have to stand a chance to beat China, right? So we really need to ramp up our efforts. At least the United States has something, India has nothing. So we need to, get our shit together and try to get something moving because it is like the space race. And this is China's Sputnik moment. And India was not even in the picture that time because we had more priority issues. But right now, this should be our top priority. And if anyone's listening from any sector of the government, just come on. I mean, we need to turn this around and we need to create those environments for that kind of innovation to flourish in our country, right? So yeah, well, that's all I had, ladies and gentlemen. This is really my fourth video. Yeah, fourth video. And yeah, it has been awesome to be doing this daily uploads. I mean, it's not particularly stressful because I really love doing this. But yeah, if I would be so happy if you guys leave a comment in the description below, leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you really liked it. And yeah, I'd love those things. It'll make my day. So yeah, that's all I had for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. TVP signing off.